What's going on, everybody? My name's Dylan, and I love cinema. And on this channel, we love all things cinema. And today we're talking about part 2 of Season 5 of Stranger Things. Obviously, I didn't make a video about part 1, and that's only because it took me so long to watch it. It was already kind of spoken about, everyone already seen it, everyone already had their thoughts. I'll give a quick recap of my thoughts on part 1. I thought the story was good, but I thought the writing for the characters were bad. It didn't feel like anyone was acting to the degree that we know they can act. But yeah, you'll be seeing this the day after Christmas. I just watched it. It was pretty good. I will say I have my notes right here. I'll be going over my thoughts on just what I thought about part 2. And I will say, spoiler alert, there's going to be spoilers. A lot of them. There's things I want to talk about. Because, to be honest with you, I didn't love part 1. I thought it's still a good show. But part 2, I liked part 2. I won't lie. I liked part 2 more than I liked part 1. So, starting off, what I wrote on my notes here, I said, the writing improved. I thought the characters looked, just how they were interacting with each other, seemed a little more genuine. The first time around, it felt like they were more or less talking at each other. But this time around, I thought the writing was actually a lot better. I think that part 1 was a little bit rushed. I could be wrong, but that was just how I felt about it. But I thought the writing was a lot better this time around. I thought the acting overall was a lot better this time around. The second thing I wrote, Callie lost her British accent. I know I'm not crazy. In season 2, I'm 98% sure she's speaking with an English accent. That isn't really anything to take away from the plot. By the way, she isn't adding a lot to the plot, other than Hopper's super suspicious of her. She's just kind of there. Yeah, but Callie lost her British accent. I wrote that down because I was kind of huh, interesting. Mr. Whatsit, low key still, I don't know. I get it's just Henry again with another fake personality, I guess, just another thing to call him. I really like Mr. Woods as a character, and I thought he was a shining light in part 1 when there was a lot of dim lights. If you look at my last video I made where I ranked every character every season, I talked about my thoughts. Mr. Whatsit was one of 2 characters we put in S tier, me and my friend Golden. If you want to go check out the video, it's a banger. But I think Mr. Whatsit is still sick. I think he accomplishes exactly what he wants to. He's menacing, but also friendly. I love his vibe. I love his vibe. We got one of the coolest scenes we've ever seen. That Will Vecna scene, it will be iconic. I will stand on that. That episode will probably be so high rated purely because of that, and I'm fine with it. Because that was one of the coolest things we've seen in a long time for Stranger Things. Another issue I had with part 1, I thought Robin was over the top quirky. Season 3 we had smart Robin with a little bit of quirk. Season 4 we got half and half smart, half quirky. Part 1 of season 5 it felt like she was just lost all intelligence but was just quirky, and I had an issue with it because I didn't think she was funny, and they were really trying to make her funny. But this time around I think we actually got to see some intelligence out of her again, which, great. That's what I want. She can be smart and quirky. She doesn't have to just lean the quirky way. Because part 1, a lot of her jokes didn't land for me. May have landed for you. I didn't think they were that good. I didn't think it was funny. I thought she was a little bit annoying in part 1. But I thought she was a lot better in part 2. Steve and Dustin. Part 1. Did not feel like that's how those characters would typically interact. Part 2. They were still fighting. But it was more believable in my opinion. It seemed like it was better acted. They finally figured out their issues. I'm glad, because that's really how those characters would interact. They spent way too much time being mad at each other. That is not how those characters would work. They've always talked their issues out. I thought that was a weird choice, but now they figured it out. I'm very glad they needed to. One of the poorest, I don't know if it's written or it's just her acting, character this season, in my opinion, is Joyce. Winona Ryder's a good actor. But it feels like she's one of the weakest ones this season. I don't know if that's just me, but the scenes with her and Will, and I'm not gonna lie, Noah Schnapp I don't think is the world's greatest actor. Obviously, he's better than me. I'm not. It's just my opinion. The scenes between those two do not feel I don't feel chemistry. You know what I mean? It feels so forced. And I felt that in the first part too, and I was like, I don't know. I that needs to get better. I don't know, because Joyce, like season 1, 2, you can even argue 3, she was like easily one of the shining lights when it came to acting. But I don't know if it's like poor writing or if Winona's just like not feeling the script. I don't know. I think it's weird how trusting Elle is of Callie. Like, I don't get why Hopper's the only one who's kind of like, she's acting weird. Whenever I feel like it's very, very apparent that something's up, and Elle is just kind of like, she's my sister. I'm rocking with her. Okay, I guess. You do you. This is one. Not enough Derek. So, for most of part 1, I thought he was annoying, and then, he kind of became delightful Derek. And then I thought he was really funny. And then part 2 comes around, and, we get some scenes with them, but then Vecna, once again, spoiler alerts, is like, he shows him, like, his dead parents and his dead sister. So then after that, he's just kind of like, I'm done talking. Not enough Derek scenes, in my opinion. Jonathan and Nancy finally speaking after, like, all of season 4 where there was so much tension. And we finally get them talking it out. And it went great. They should have done it sooner. I felt like they harped on that way too long, but I'm glad they finally did it. Another thing I wrote down is the black hole thingy still happening. Because, like, it was happening, things were getting sucked in whenever Elle was helping them get back to the surface. But we haven't seen anything after that. It was showing it, and then we haven't seen it since. Is it still happening? I don't know. I just wrote that down because I was curious. I said the kids are way into Henry. I think it's weird how they've been told by multiple people. They're like, yo, something's going on with that Mr. What's-It guy. And they're all like, you need to shut up, Holly. We're with Mr. What's-It till the end. They're all so bought in and isn't believable. Also, the chanting scene, little weird. Yeah, they were a little cringy. I just said, there's only one thing I want to talk about that I was like, cringe so hard at, and you probably already know what I'm going to bring up. Well, we're going to talk about it basically last. I was glad to see Mr. Clark back. I feel like they just kind of threw all the information on him, and I feel like he took it pretty well. I like Mr. Clark, and I'm glad that we're getting some more screen time. So, and then I said some scenes went on a little longer than they should have. I feel like the whole thing where Max and Holly are in the cave and they're getting out, and it's just like they're just yapping up a storm, and it took so long. You know what I mean? Some scenes just feel like they go on too long. Like the whole goo thing with Jonathan and Nancy, and then, all the goo just magically just hardens, and then they're chilling. I thought that was a very plot armory, but whatever. Then I wrote the scene. It's rough. And that's a great way to put it. So, as you know, as we've known for a long time, Will is gay. These are supposed to be his lifelong friends. You'd figure at this point they'd probably already get that impression, right? Apparently not. So basically, before they're about to go face Vecna, whatever, Will's like, Vecna showed me something. It was my future. And I'm like, oh, we're about to see something cool. So then he brings everyone in there to announce that, he's gay. And he's like, but I told you guys all this because in the future you guys I push you all away and you don't want to hang out with me because I'm different and I don't tell you why or blah, blah, blah. I'm hyperbole. But it's not... Here's the thing. There's no way none of them have sussed that out other than Robin. No way. Robin doesn't catch social cues. She says it herself. There's no way she's the one that figures it out. And I get he talks to her about it, but she figures it out first. On top of that, they've always been odd. And on top of that, they're already friends with a gay person. So why would, in any world, would this group of people, especially this group of people, be like, yeah, Will, you're gay, we don't want to hang out with you. That makes no sense. And I get that they did that because back then, it was like, viewed poorly. I'd say it's not viewed like great now, but it was viewed like really bad back then. And I get that they wanted to shed some light on that, and like I get what they were going for, but I just feel like they took it the wrong approach. Because first off, it goes way too long. Way too long. Way too long. Second off, I just figured there'd be one of them was like, yeah, Will, closet was made out of glass. We already knew. We were just waiting for you to find the time. That's how they should have addressed that. But instead, they're all sitting here like, trying to act like they're getting all emotional, and it's just like, I don't buy it at all. I hardly buy Noah Snap's acting. Like, whenever he runs over to give Max a hug, that made me cringe too, because it's just, I don't know. It's just, Like, I get why they did it, but they did it so wrong. Like, in my mind, the perfect thing that they should have done, he's getting all worked up. He's like, guys, I don't like girls. And then they all were like, yeah, we know, dude. We were just waiting for you to open up. They could have just figured out right then and there. It would have been so quick. Instead, they just I don't know. They took a very it was a tough watch. And it's not like I'm against Will because he's gay. We've all known that for a while. I just don't see a world where his best friends have no idea. None. Or his mom. Jonathan kind of figured it out. And I know also a lot of people were mad that the Will and Mike thing isn't gonna happen. That was never gonna happen. Never. Mike is with Elle. All right, and I know that people want to ship that. It's okay to like someone and then not like you back, and it's just because one character likes the other doesn't mean they have to date. Nancy clearly still loves, or Steve still clearly loves Nancy. It's not gonna happen because a lot of people were mad that they didn't end up getting together. But I thought how they read that was very well. Wherever Will said Mike was kind of like his Tammy, where it's like he knew that he wasn't into girls, so he basically just picked someone that he's known forever, and he does love them. Love Mike. I mean, they're best friends. So that approach wasn't terrible, but I just thought that scene was way overdone. But overall, outside of one scene, I get why they did it, but it's a tough watch. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a major improvement from part one. I thought they did a lot better outside of that one scene. They did a really good job. So that's my thoughts on part two. Let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe my opinions are terrible. I don't know. I don't think I was the only one who thought that the writing in part one was pretty bad. And I'm not saying it's perfect here. I will say the only person that's actually made me laugh multiple times throughout the season. Okay, there was more than one. Derek, Murray. A little bit of Lucas. I think those are the only three characters that made me laugh this whole time. Bring back the funnies, okay? But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm ready for the finale. I thought that, as I said, I thought they did a lot better this time around. Let me know what you thought down below. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.